President Douglas, thank you so very much for gathering us together. National Board Member Jefferson, thank you so very much. To all of the pastors, clergy that are here, as well, the president of the Missouri City NAACP, we're very proud of that chapter. And Bishop Dixon, thank you. I think I'm not leaving out anyone besides who I will be acknowledging next, which is, of course, Commissioner Ellis, of whom we are very appreciative of his leadership. And I am just ecstatic to be standing here with my colleague as we stand in tandem together working on behalf of the constituents of our communities. And I think with Congressman Green and myself, and certainly there are other representatives, we have certainly a large portion of this particular community. I represent the NAACP in their House, and Congressman Green represents the House of the Texans. I want to take just a moment to be able to say that Houston is proud of its diversity. We are a community that many of us stand in Commissioner's Court and City Council to brag about Houston, our mayor, our many elected officials who come from a diverse community, including South Asians, the religious diversity that we have. And so you can imagine how hurt and disappointed I am for those comments. For those comments generate thought. They have to have come from thought and beliefs. And I think it is important that more than an apology, of which we greatly appreciate, that we follow in the call that has been made, that this has to be resolved face to face. This has to be resolved with thought that is good. And it has to be resolved to have a new image. And this does not go to the Texans only. For I've worked with the NFL for a very long time, starting with the issues of concussions and antitrust issues on the Judiciary Committee. And it troubles me that for all that period of time, the owners consider these young men something less than human beings. It troubles me that they are, in fact, a commodity. And I think that that is the concern. So let me share with you. Braxton Miller, wide receiver, Ohio State University graduate, degree in communications. Quarterback, Deshaun Watson, Clemson graduate, degree in communications. Brian Peters, education, Northwestern University, degree in learning and organizational change. Stephen, or it might be Stephen Anderson, University of California, degree in public health. I don't know why any of these individuals would bring to your attention the example of inmates running the prison. For it brings to mind the stereotype of African American men in incarceration, hurting families and hurting our history. These young men, many of whom have come from challenging beginnings, from which they have had to overcome, take to the field all over America through the NFL and provide great camaraderie, sportsmanship, and excitement on game day. Their act of taking a knee is simply their right to protest and petition their government for the grievances under the First Amendment. This Constitution is something that more people need to read. The people who have intimidated, or not intimidated, excuse me, the people who have attacked Congresswoman Frederica Wilson, those who have attacked me, those who've attacked Congressman Green in our national and public statements, they need to read the Constitution. President Trump needs to read the Constitution. For it says in the First Amendment, not only to the NAACP, you have the freedom of speech and the freedom of press, but you have the freedom to petition your government through its grievances, through your grievances. Colin Kaepernick had grievances, legitimate grievances. Those who are taking a knee are joining because those grievances have not been addressed. And those grievances play into what we're now facing. which is the comments that have to be resolved. So my final point is to simply say this. We need to engage in real hard discussions to rise above the perceptions we have of each other. A meeting should be set up immediately, as has been said, because we need to be able to go beyond the perceptions of all of us. And we need to end racial conflict. There needs to be outreach. There needs to be a solution. We have to work together. And we cannot not do anything. I offer to say that although many years ago we sang the song, "We Shall Overcome," we are on that journey. And I expect to sing that song in this community on this issue, that we have overcome. We need to accept Commissioner Ellis's very wise suggestion that there should be diversity and recognition at the Texans Stadium, because many helped build that magnificent place, those that we know, from Errol Campbell to Warren Moon and many others. Let's show what this community represents, and let's show it in the right way by ending the stereotype.